4, 3, 2, 1.
Studio Classroom is
Recording.
Please stand by. Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Studio Classroom. Your English will improve today. My name is Carolyn. What comes to your mind when you think of a theme park? Perhaps you think of roller coasters and lots of different kinds of rides. But some theme parks have more to offer than just rides. Our lesson today is Leofoo Village Theme Park. Today we'll join Pauline and Josh, both teachers here at Studio Classroom, as they tell us about their adventures at Leofoo Village. But are they going to share about the rides or something else? There's only one way to find out. I trust you have your magazine open. Let's begin.
Leofoo Village Theme Park. Wild in more than just one way. A torrential rain was beating down, and our thin plastic ponchos were barely preventing us from getting soaked. We were sitting in the back of a truck, waiting. Suddenly, there was movement all around us. A huge animal on all fours appeared out of the mist, followed by another and another. Lions were circling the truck. Suddenly, one lunged forward, jaws wide open, just inches away from us.
Hi everyone, welcome to Language Lab. 这篇文章的第一个重点，我们看 torrential 这个形容词。torrential 是指猛烈的或者是汹涌的，常常用来形容雨势。例如 torrential rain flooded the whole town and many people stayed in a shelter waiting for the water to recede. 猛烈的雨势淹没了整个城镇，许多人都必须待在避难所等待雨势退去。torrential 也指强烈令人无法招架的，例如 a torrential shower of insults came from the furious man. 这个愤怒的男人滔滔不绝地辱骂。它的名词是去掉字尾的 ial 变成 torrent， 意思是急流或爆发。例如 raging torrents push the boat further from the shore， 奔腾的急流把船推向离岸更远的地方。继续我们看的是 lunge 这个动词， lunge 在这里是指突然往前冲或急扑。例如 the robber lunged forward to grab the money from the cash register and then ran away。 这名抢匪突然往前扑，把收银机的钱抢走，然后就跑掉了。因为它是一个不及物动词，所以后面要加上介系词 at， 再加受词。例如 when a hunter was walking on a trail, a bear lunged at him and almost killed him. 当这个猎人在山径上走着的时候，一只熊突然扑向他，差点要了他的命。Lunge 也可以当名词，例如 the goalkeeper made a lunge at the ball and successfully blocked it. 守门员猛力的扑向球，成功的挡住了它。
Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, we certainly have an exciting start to our lesson today. Let's read about Josh and Pauline's experience at the Leofoo Village Theme Park. They are teachers here at Studio Classroom, and it sounds like they had quite the trip. How does our lesson begin here?
Well, they described their trip as wild in more than just one way.
Ah, that's an interesting way to start us off with our lesson today, that a theme park, this Leofoo Village theme park, is wild. I wonder what they mean. Does that mean it's exciting? But they say it's more than just one way, right?
That's right.
So let's find out why it's so wild. We read that a torrential rain was beating down and our thin plastic ponchos were barely preventing us from getting soaked.
Wow, this really sets the picture. It's almost like they're in the jungle or something like that, and they have a heavy rain beating down on them. Now, this phrase beating down might be a little bit confusing because beating is the idea of hitting something, right? But we use this phrase beating down to describe extreme weather, usually rain or sometimes sunshine.
Sure, so if it's very hot outside, maybe you're walking through a dry area or a very hot area and the sun is shining down and you just feel so hot. You could say that the sun is beating down on you, or the sun was beating down on the travelers as they walked through the desert.
Exactly. Well, in this case, the heavy rain was beating down on Josh and Pauline, and all they had to stay dry was a thin plastic poncho, and that was barely preventing them from getting soaked.
That's right. So, of course, a poncho is a thin plastic raincoat in this case. And there they are wearing their thin ponchos. Despite the rain beating down on them, they still look very joyful and happy. They seem to be having a good time. But these ponchos were barely preventing them from getting soaked or very wet.
Exactly. And now when it says here that they were barely prevented from getting soaked, it means that they weren't soaked. The ponchos did prevent them from getting soaked, but only by a little bit.
Right, so that word barely is there to express the idea that they almost were soaked. And you can use this word for different things. For example, if you're trying on different hats and you find one that is too small, you could say that this hat is too small. It barely covers my head.
That's right. So they were in the pouring rain. They were just barely staying dry, and they were sitting in the back of a truck waiting. What are they waiting for?
Well, we find out that suddenly there was movement all around us. A huge animal on all fours appeared out of the mist, followed by another and another. I think we're finding out what is so wild about their trip.
Yes, this sounds very wild. In fact, it sounds like they're in another country. Now, why do they say that the animal was on all fours? This phrase means simply that the animal is down on all four legs, and it might seem obvious for most creatures that do walk on four legs, but it's still a common phrase that we use.
Sure, because animals can also stand up on two legs when they want to at times, and we can also use this phrase when we're talking about people, especially kids or babies. You could say that the kids got down on all fours and pretended to be dogs, and they walked around the room on all fours.
That's right. So anything that has four limbs and can get down on them can be on all fours. What do you think? A bird with wings? All fours?
No. A bird cannot get on all fours. It does not have four legs. It has wings instead. So these are animals that have four legs, and they appeared out of the mist, and we find out what kind of animals they were. Lions.
Oh, my goodness. I can't imagine being in a truck and having lions circling the truck, and suddenly one lunged forward, jaws open wide, just inches away from them.
Oh, this sounds very scary, and we can definitely describe this as wild because wild could mean unusual, you're not expecting it, but it can also refer to animals, and these lions seem like wild animals.
They certainly do to me. And in fact, that makes me think about a certain phrase that we use to describe where lions live.
Oh, so lions live in a den, and we have more to learn about the lion's den in the Info Cloud.
Hello, friends, and welcome to InfoCloud. Since joining InfoCloud, I've gotten to know Rex a bit better. I heard that you used to work for a TV news station. What was that like?
It was very stressful. Everything you do is always under intense time pressure, so people don't have too much patience. Every time I walked into a meeting, I felt like I was walking into the lion's den.
That's a great way to put it. Rex just mentioned an interesting expression, walk into the lion's den. It means to walk into an intense situation where people are aggressive or even hostile towards you.
Imagine walking into a place where there are lions coming at you, just like the expression suggests. It would be extremely scary and life-threatening.
This expression is from the book of Daniel in the Bible, in which Daniel is thrown into the lion's den as punishment for not worshiping the king.
But in the end, he walked out unharmed because God protected him.
What an amazing story! And now, whenever people are about to walk into a difficult situation, they will sometimes say, I'm walking into the lion's den.
不晓得你有没有面对过一种相当艰难的困境，那就是你在当中必须面对来自四面八方的攻击，有可能是工作上的会议，也有可能是某种形式的考试。这个时候，你也可以说 I feel like I'm walking into the lion's den. 我觉得我好像要走进狮子坑，意思就是你要面对极度不友善，甚至是敌对你的一群人或是境况，感觉上好像被丢进狮子坑里面，即将被吃干抹净。Walk into the lion's den 这个用语源自于旧约圣经的但以理书所记载的故事。但以理因为信仰被丢进狮子坑，后来因为受到上帝的保护，全身而退。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hello friends, welcome back to Studio Classroom. Today we're looking at a lesson on Leofoo Village Theme Park. But when we left off our lesson a moment ago, our teachers seemed to be in a very scary situation. There was a giant animal lunging at them, trying to attack them even. Oh, I wonder what is going to happen and why this is happening. I thought they were going to a theme park. Let's read more about their experience with the next part of our lesson.
Leofoo Village Theme Park. This was by far our most exciting moment at Taiwan's one-of-a-kind safari and theme park, Leofoo Village. Located about an hour and a half from Taipei by bus, Leofoo Village is much more than a typical theme park. Earlier that day, we had set out from Taipei, a bit unsure of what was in store for us. Before leaving, a friend had helped us book our stay at the Leofoo Resort Guanxi. Upon arriving at the theme park in the early afternoon, we took a shuttle to the hotel to check in. Shortly thereafter, we found ourselves seated in the back of that truck, surrounded by a sturdy metal cage. Our first stop would be the enclosure with an American black bear.
OK， 接下来我们看的是 check in 这个片语动词。check in 在这里是指旅馆的登记入住，例如 The receptionist asked us to present our IDs when we checked in。我们办理住房登记时，接待员要求我们要提供身份证明。check in 也可以指办理登记手续，例如 If you check in online, you can pick your seat in advance。如果你在网络上办理登记手续，可以事先选位。如果在 check 和 in 之间加上连接号，就变成一个名词。例如 We missed our check-in time, so we had to take a different flight to LA。我们错过了登机时间，只好搭另外一个班机到洛杉矶。或者是 I'll meet you at the check-in at 10:50。我10:50在登机处跟你碰面。最后我们看 enclosure 这个名词 ，CLO 这个字根有关闭的意思，所以 enclosure 是指围起来的场地。例如 The enclosure was surrounded by an electric fence, so these fierce animals won't get out。这个围起来的区域是由通电的栏杆围住的，所以这一些凶猛的动物没有办法出去。或者是 The vet entered the deer enclosure to treat a sick fawn。这名兽医进入鹿的围场中替一只小鹿治病。它的动词是 enclose, E-N-C-L-O-S-E， 意思是包围或围住。例如 The castle walls enclosed a large area。这个城堡的城墙围住了一个很大的区域。And now let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, let's continue reading to learn more about this interesting place that Josh and Pauline went to. Jack, how does our lesson continue?
Okay, this was by far our most exciting moment at Taiwan's one-of-a-kind safari and theme park, Leofoo Village.
That's a really interesting place that they went to, Leofoo Village, and we see them describe it as one of a kind.
That's right. This means something is unique. It's special. There's only one of this kind of something.
Ah, well, maybe you go to an amusement park and you see an amazing roller coaster. You've never seen anything like it. You could say, oh, that roller coaster is one of a kind. It looks like so much fun. Or maybe it looks very scary.
That's true. Leofoo Village, located about an hour and a half from Taipei by bus, is much more than a typical theme park.
It is, and we learn a little bit about how they planned this trip. We read that earlier that day, we had set out from Taipei a bit unsure of what was in store for us. So actually, they didn't really know what to expect when they got to Leofoo Village. And I like this phrase here, in store. What does it mean if something is in store?
That's right. It means that something, often an experience, is waiting for you to experience it, and maybe you are just about to go and do that.
Right, so it's something that will happen in the future, and maybe you don't know what it is. For example, when you wake up in the morning, you might think, I wonder what is in store for me today. I hope it's something good.
I hope it's going to Leofoo Village.
Oh, that sounds like a very fun trip. And we read that actually they didn't plan this trip themselves. We see before leaving, a friend had helped us book our stay at the Leofoo Resort Guanshi. And upon arriving at the theme park in the early afternoon, we took a shuttle to the hotel to check in. So they're going to be staying there and enjoying a longer experience, not just going up for a few hours and then coming back to the city.
That's right, and that's the true way to enjoy the park, I think. And what I find amazing is that here you drive and you check into a hotel and it all seems normal, but then shortly thereafter, they found themselves seated in the back of that truck, surrounded by the sturdy metal cage. Wow, what a change.
Sure, this is not your normal hotel experience to be in a truck with a cage that says, "Don't touch the lions." Oh, that's quite an experience, and I like this phrase to find yourself doing something.
That's true. Oh, Carolyn, I just found myself.
I think you were here the whole time, Jack.
Oh, that's right. That's actually not what this phrase, find yourself, means. Although it may seem a little bit strange, it's quite a normal phrase that just means it's a way of talking about a situation that you were not controlling the situation perhaps, but then suddenly you realized you were at that place.
Sure. So, for example, after waiting for the bus for 30 minutes in the rain, we found ourselves cold, wet, and frustrated, and late. Oh, so that is how we found ourselves. Well, we have more to learn and more to see with the SC Challenge. Welcome, friends. We have a challenge for you today on the SC Challenge, and we have two great contestants joining us for our challenge today. Let's meet them now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon. Good to be back here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda, and it's great to be back.
All right, well, welcome, Brandon and Linda. Here is our first question on Leofoo Village. What was the weather like when the authors visited the park? A, cold, B, hot, C, dry, or D, wet? Oh, that was so close. Linda?
I'm going to say D, wet.
That is an excellent guess, and D, wet, is correct. All right, our second question. What did the authors think of their experience with the lions? A, it was like a zoo. B, it was exciting. C, it was depressing. Or D, it was like being in Africa. Brandon.
I'm going to say A. It was like a zoo.
A good guess, but not the right answer this time. Linda, would you like to guess?
Yes, I would, but could I hear the options again?
All right. B, it was exciting. C, it was depressing. Or D, it was like being in Africa.
I'm going to say C, depressing.
C, it was depressing? No, it was not depressing.
Was it D? Was it like being in Africa?
It was also not like being in Africa.
I get the answer.
Oh, I think that means you know what the answer is, friends. Of course.
Exciting.
It is
Sure it was
B.
exciting.
It was exciting. All right, our final question. Let's see who gets this one. Which animal did the authors visit first? A, lions. B, tigers. C, bears. Or D, giraffes. Brandon?
I'm going to go with D. Giraffes.
Not giraffes. Linda?
I'll say B.
Tigers? Not tigers.
Well, let's go with C.
C, Brandon says it's C, bears. That is correct.
All right.
Good job. I think
Finally.
you need to review our lesson some more.
Yes, I think we do.
But I know you did a great job at home. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later.
Bye.
This has certainly been a memorable start to Josh and Pauline's experience at Taiwan's one-of-a-kind Leofoo Village. To learn more about it, you'll have to tune in tomorrow. So join us tomorrow on Studio Classroom.
A friend lasts a lifetime. A friend gives at all times. A friend cares at all times. A friend endures at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.